All the victims and witnesses? Yeah. For the purposes of the statute and the rules of procedure and evidence, victims mean natural persons who have suffered harm as a result of the commission of any crime, yeah, within the jurisdiction of the court. Victims may include organizations or institutions that have sustained direct harm to any of their property, which is dedicated to religion, education, art or sciences, or charitable purposes, and to their historic monuments, hospitals, and other places and objects of humanitarian purposes. Now, it does say natural person, and I am a natural person of the United States. Now, you refuse to acknowledge the Victims' Rights Bill of the state of Washington in every state? Yeah. And then you said, well, we're not going to enforce the child victims' rights bills of many of the states? Yes. And you're going to continue to obligate my sons to go to school where they're in the wrong grades? Yes. Obviously neglected, exploited, pooch, kidnapped, and abducted. Now, there's a mandatory Victims Restitution Act? Yes. That you said I was not going to be. I know your thought was, well, he's a homeless man, and we're going to continue. But I want this state to know that they're going to be tried in an international criminal court. Yes. As is this nation. Yes. For refusing to enforce the requirements of the law to be able to issue court orders. Yes. Refusing to enforce the civil rights of American citizens. Refusing to enforce the actual constitutional guarantees of the United States. Yes. Refusing to enforce forgery laws, fraud laws, yes, and treason. Now, when you look at it here, no signature, that's right. No signature, no signature, yes. And though this was admitted as Exhibit A, Jack, yes, you did not include the weapon surrender form, yes, where not only is there no signature of the petitioner, right, there is no signature of the protected person. Then there was a wrongful execution of the court order where I was served in the Sequim Public Library. Yes, the breach of contract that only law enforcement can serve the individual. Obviously, they wouldn't serve somebody in a library. Yes. And then there's the thought of the fabrication of evidence against me that I had violated. Um, I'm going to want the victim's rights enforced in the International Criminal Court. And if the United States continues to deny me these rights, I'll just sue every oath of office. Now, all of you that swore, yes, that you would support the United States, the laws, and the individual constitutions, yes, every attorney oath, every oath of office, well, it's actually a war crime for you to sit there and say, well, nobody reads his emails, yes. Protect a measure upon the motion of the prosecutor or the defense or upon the request of a witness or a victim or his or her legal representative, if any, or on its own motion and after having consulted with the victims and witnesses unit as appropriate. Yes. A chamber may order measures to protect myself and my family against future kidnapping. Yes. Retaliation. Police brutality. Yes. False arrest and false imprisonment, yes, and fraudulent mental health evaluations. Now, a witness or another person at risk on account of testimony given by the witness pursuant to Article 68, yes. Now, I'm sure that the International Criminal Court does want me to have this, yes, and for all the employees of the different internet. Well, it shall not be submitted ex parte. Yes. I have to serve the other party when I a request by a witness or by a victim of his or her legal representative, if any, shall be served on both the prosecutor and the defense. Now, the defense would be the Attorney General's Office of the United States. You know, I emailed the Department of Justice thousands of times. I emailed the FBI, a branch of the Department of Justice, 1,000 times. Yes, I put the civil rights laws of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the emails. And for some reason, Robert Mueller, pooh, you just did not want to take the time to do what the law requires. Now, if we have to try each and every director of each branch and agency of the United States federal government, I will put you all in international prison. Now, a motion or request affecting a particular witness or a particular victim shall be served on that witness or victim or his or her legal representatives. Yes, I'm going to want to get some attorneys on this. Pooch. Now, I know as a pauper, yes, if I could have used the federal court system, yes, I probably could have had prosecuted those that were paid to issue this fraudulent court order. Yes. And the government would have paid all my legal expenses? Yeah. hmm But for some reason, you just allowed me to keep getting arrested and prosecuted knowing I hadn't committed any crimes. FBI. You know, you can be tried in the International Criminal Court, Robert Mueller, for being the director of a bureau that doesn't enforce the civil rights of American citizens. Now, I told you to give me my sons. And when you issue a dissolution of marriage where you did not protect my right to due process, yes, I didn't receive the dissolution of marriage. No. You didn't have the jurisdiction of the United Nations to be able to dissolve it. No. And it's been used in multiple ways to deprive me, yes, of my right to father my sons. Phew. Now, for some reason, nobody wants to